You are listening to the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services podcast, The All-Inclusive, where we bring you the latest news and information about our services for Mississippians with disabilities. On today's podcast, we are talking about the ABLE program, Achieving a Better Life Experience. Here to tell us about the ABLE program and what it means to you is Executive Director Chris Howard.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chris Howard. I'm the Executive Director here at the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services. And thank you so much for joining our podcast today because we really got a great program we want to talk to you about. And it's called Mississippi ABLE. ABLE stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience. And what this program does, it's a savings opportunity for individuals with disabilities to save for the future and in many cases not be concerned about losing their public benefits. So if you think about this, if you think about an individual who is receiving Medicaid, Medicaid says you cannot have more than $4,000 in assets or you'll lose your Medicaid. If you're receiving Social Security and SSI check, Social Security says you cannot have more than $2,000 or you'll lose your Social Security check. So through Mississippi ABLE, individuals can put money back, whether it be for current expenses or maybe to save it for future. You can do that and it won't affect your public benefits. It won't affect those asset limitations. So it's a great opportunity for individuals to save for the future, save for that house, save for that roof, maybe if they need a new roof, save for a car, save for college, whatever the case may be. It's a great opportunity for individuals to save for the future and not be concerned about, am I going to lose my public benefits? So as we dive more into this, I'm excited to have Billy Taylor with me today. Billy is our Chief of Staff here at the Mississippi Department of Rehab Services, and he really handles the day-to-day of our ABLE program. So, Billy, thanks so much for being on the show today, man. I'm excited to hear what you got to say.
Oh, thanks for having me. Yeah, this program has been something that individuals with disabilities have needed for a long time. There's been a lobby to Congress for decades saying that it's hard to live with a disability. There's additional expenses that come with living with a disability, and a lot of these federal programs that help individuals with disabilities have asset tests which say you can't have more than X number of dollars or you're not eligible for this program any longer. So after years and years of lobbying, the answer was finally given by Congress when they passed the ABLE Act in December of 2014. So what that basically was just a change to the tax code. It said that if states want to open up ABLE accounts, they need to pass some legislation in their individual states, and then ABLE will be available to their constituents. So in 2017, our Mississippi legislature did just that and passed the Mississippi ABLE program. They actually set up a 9-member board, which is in charge with overseeing the ABLE program. And the legislature did a very good job, I believe, with the infrastructure of this board. It's actually 6 appointees from the governor that are either leaders in the disability community, parents of children with disabilities, financial experts. So really just a great group of leaders in our state that are the 6 appointees from the governor. And then there's 3 what we call ex officio members. By virtue of their job, they're automatically on the ABLE board, and that is the Executive Director of Mental Health, the Executive Director here at MDRS, Mr. Howard, and then our State Treasurer, who is currently David McCray. So when that board first came together in 2018, they had to make the decision, how are we going to stand up this program here in Mississippi? So what that board did was to kind of look around the nation and to see how the ABLE program is run in some other states. And after a lot of due diligence, the board made the decision to join what's called the National ABLE Alliance, which is a group of 18 states whose job is to oversee the ABLE programs in their respective states. So they hired one program administrator, which is a company called Census, and they run basically the same program for all these 18 states. So we've basically contracted out the day-to-day transactions of taking the deposits and issuing the withdrawals and answering questions about accounts. And it's really the job now of the board and us here at MDRS to get the word out about ABLE, to help market the program, just to make sure all Mississippians are aware of these new benefits that the ABLE account provides, and really just to get the word out there. So it's been very exciting the past few years, seeing this come from just a working group at the Capitol to getting the bill passed, to getting the board put together, to picking the program administrator. But now we're really at the time where we want to get the word out to as many Mississippians as we can about the benefits of ABLE and all the things it can do to help handle the expenses that come with living with a disability. So on our, we have a slide that I'd like to pull up that talks about some of the particulars with the ABLE account. And there's a couple things that are very important to note. First, you can only have $15,000 per year in your ABLE account. That is important to note because you can have $15,000 in your account, but you can also put another $12,060 if that money is earned income. So there could be a total of $27,060 if that income is earned yourself, and that can grow to a maximum amount of $235,000. And the money in that account will not count against any of your public benefit eligibility requirements. So you can, rest easy knowing you can stay on your Medicaid, stay on your Social Security, your HUD housing voucher, SNAP, TANF, whatever public benefit you may be receiving. If your money's in ABLE, that asset will not count against your public benefit.
Yeah, I tell you, Billy, that's a great opportunity for individuals to save for the future, and again, not be worried about losing public benefits. So, as we all try to save for the future and we think about the future, it's such a great opportunity to know that you can put money back and not be concerned about, hey, am I going to lose my benefits? So the next thing we want to talk about are, what expenses qualify. A lot of times as we're out traveling, talking to individuals, they say this account sounds great, but what can I use this money on to ensure I get the tax benefits and won't affect my benefits? So Billy, why don't you talk briefly about, what you can actually spend this money on and make sure you're still in compliance with what ABLE requires.
Yeah, sure. The key phrase there is a qualified disability-related expense. So Congress was very generous in defining that phrase, and it's basically anything that you would need to help achieve a better life experience, like the ABLE acronym. The list includes education, health and wellness, housing, transportation, legal fees, financial management, employment, assistive technology, just basically the gamut of daily living type expenses that we all face. So just when I look at the two bullets, housing and transportation, your utilities, right there, that's people's rent and mortgage, that's their car note, that's their car insurance, basically all the normal monthly fees that we all pay each month can be spent out of your ABLE fund. So they were very generous. They didn't. They could have made it very narrowly tailored just to individuals with disabilities needs like wheelchairs or hearing aids. While you can, of course, pay for those sort of things, they made it more expansive than that to include, rent and transportation and a long list of things.
Billy, that's really a great opportunity for individuals with disabilities because it really provides flexibilities to help that person not only save, but also make sure that they can spend it on what they truly need. So, if you're listening and you're thinking, man, this sounds really good, something else I want to point out is, you have the option of getting a debit card. Maybe you want to put that money in there and you want to start using it tomorrow for some of these expenses. Or maybe you want to put that money in there and save it for 25, 30, maybe 40 years from now. So you had that flexibility. You can put the money in, you can start using it the next day, or you can save it for the future. And, through this program, you have investment options. You can, if you're a high-risk investor, you can invest your money there. If you're a low risk, maybe you're a little safer, you can put your money there. So it's a great opportunity for individuals to really pick how they want to invest their money and how they want to use their money. We talk a lot about public assistance and the fact this won't affect their public assistance, but there are also other benefits of ABLE. And really two other big things is, first of all, earnings are tax-free. So earnings that you earn off this account are tax-free, through the IRS. Also, contributions you make into this account could be deductible on your Mississippi state income tax. So not only are you getting a great opportunity to save for the future, not be concerned about losing your public benefits, but you also have the opportunity to enjoy a lot of tax freedom, so to speak, in putting your money into this account. So again, it's a great way to really save for the future and really plan for the future. So quickly, Billy, I guess let's talk about eligibility. Again, a listener may think, okay, how do I qualify for this? So if you will, briefly talk about how you become eligible or how you can be eligible for an ABLE account.
Yeah, sure, Chris. And it's really quite simple. If you've had the onset of your disability prior to 26 years old, you are eligible for an ABLE account. And a lot of people ask, well, how do I know if my disability qualifies? And that answer is pretty simple as well. If the Social Security Administration has ever deemed you to have a disability by applying for SSI or SSDI benefits, you're eligible for ABLE. Or if you've never asked SSA to make that determination, then you can take a form to your physician and have a self-certification process that basically has your physician say, yes, you meet this SSA definition for disability. So really quite simple to get eligible for your ABLE account.
All right, good deal. Thanks, Billy. So we just gave you a whole lot of information. We talked about eligibility. We talked about the benefits of the account. We talked about so many ways you can use the money. So a lot of information out there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to break. But if you want to, jump on MississippiAble.com. That's MississippiAble.com. That provides a lot more information about what we just talked about. But we're going to jump to a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from a grandmother from Louisville, Mississippi, who took advantage of the ABLE account and really making a lot of benefits for her grandchild. So I hope y'all enjoy the break.
We'll be right back with more about the ABLE program. Stay with us. The Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services is the state agency providing resources to help Mississippians with disabilities. If you are looking for a new career or you want to learn more about our services that could help you live more independently, we are here to help. Please visit our website at mdrs.ms.gov. And now back to our MDRS podcast, The All Inclusive, as we continue our discussion of the ABLE Savings Account program.
Thank you so much for joining us again as we continue to talk about Mississippi ABLE. Again, an investment opportunity for individuals with disabilities to save for the future. And, as we look at our state, and, as an agency, we have offices all throughout the state. And as we travel across the state, we talk to a lot of parents. And I'll tell you, the major concern we hear when we talk to parents is what is going to happen to my young adult when I pass on. As a parent myself with children, that is a valid concern. That's something we all worry about is, what would happen to my child or my children if I were to when I pass on. So through Mississippi ABLE, this gives the opportunity for parents or grandparents to put money into an account for that child or grandchild to save for the future, not be concerned about is that child going to lose their public benefits, and then also receive some tax benefits as a result of putting money into that account for that child. So really a great opportunity for individuals to save for that child and plan for the future. So next we've got Miss Marjorie Jordan. She's from Louisville, Mississippi. And she opened an ABLE account for her grandchild, and really a great video. It's going to touch your heart, and it's really going to remind you how important ABLE is to parents and children across this state.
So it gives us a chance to put something aside for him. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. Anything can happen. That's money we could have. And what I did is when we set the account up, I set it up so some of it would actually go into a checking account for him so he could spend it on items related to his care if it's something he needs to purchase. But I also put it in, set it up so I invested a portion of it as well so that it would grow some. And again, that's more money he would have if something happens. And as he gets older, he would have something to fall back on to help him out. So you have parents that are afraid for their children to go to work because if those benefits are cut off, they won't have enough to live off. With the ABLE Act, you don't have to worry about it. Let those children work. Give them a chance in life to be what they can be.
So I hope y'all will agree with me that was really a great video. It really shows a real life experience of how Mississippi ABLE can touch the lives of parents, grandparents, and also children with disabilities. So a great video. Hope y'all enjoyed that. And I'm going to flip this over to Billy Taylor because, again, Billy working with the day-to-day of the Mississippi ABLE, and he hears the same things I hear from parents. So, Billy, kind of what are your thoughts on how this can truly help an individual and parents and grandparents?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I remember meeting Miss Jordan when she first opened up her ABLE account. It's been about 2 years now, and she was actually one of the first ABLE accounts opened up here in Mississippi. And she was truly passionate about getting that ABLE account opened and really understood the need of that ABLE account and how it was going to help her grandchild. For years, we've had the Impact program and the MAX program here in Mississippi, which helps, of course, parents save for their kids' college. But if you were a parent of a child with a disability, there wasn't a similar vehicle with all these great tax advantages and saving mechanisms until the ABLE program. So now that we have ABLE here in our state, it gives all parents the opportunity to save for their child's future. And that's certainly an exciting time for sure.
Thanks, Billy. And I'll tell you just a few comments we've heard, through talking with parents. I'm going to read a couple of these. We had one parent say, it's the first time we've been able to save for him for the future. So you think about that, the first time they can put money back and know that their child will have a funding source. Another one, this will allow him to stand on his own 2 feet. Then here's one, this will allow him to have his own business one day. Again, putting money back, saving for the future, and helping that young adult be able to stand on his or her own 2 feet. And the last one says, it gives me a peace of mind as a parent of a child with a disability to know that he's been taken care of. So again, really great opportunity for parents, grandparents to open an ABLE account and really put money back to protect that young adult in the future. So I'll tell you, we were really excited here at the Mississippi Department of Rehab Services to be able to offer the Mississippi ABLE. And I'll tell you, my next guest is Mr. Rick Courtney. And Rick currently serves as chairman of our Mississippi ABLE board. Rick is very knowledgeable of Mississippi ABLE as well as special needs trusts and things like that. So Rick, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. And tell us a little bit about yourself and how you feel Mississippi ABLE helps individuals across this great state.
Thanks, Chris. It's glad to be with you today. And with Billy, it's a great program that you're putting on for people in Mississippi.
Thanks, Rick. My first question is, tell us why you are such a big advocate of the ABLE program.
Well, I have a personal interest and a professional interest. I'm the parent of an adult daughter with disability who has Medicaid services through a waiver program. And I'm also an attorney who does estate planning and special needs planning with clients. And there are 3 concerns that I've heard and had personally, but heard from many people, and you've already expressed many of them on the podcast so far. First of all, clients with disabilities and the families of young people with disabilities who have SSI and Medicaid struggle with these low limits of assets that are allowed by SSI and Medicaid, $2,000 or $4,000. Also, parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles, people who want to help contribute money, have expressed frustration that they couldn't leave a child or grandchild with a disability money that they could give to others in the family, and that has limited their ability to contribute to the financial resources there. And then in a professional way, I get calls from financial planners and lawyers all the time who say, my client has received a small inheritance or a small lawsuit settlement in a motor vehicle accident, injury or something, and we don't know what to do with the money. And it may not be enough to hire a lawyer to do a special needs trust, but now ABLE has provided a solution for all of those concerns.
We talk a lot about special needs trusts. If a listener's out there thinking, do I need to go the special needs trust route, or is a Mississippi ABLE account better for me and my family? You tell that person.
Chris, where the amount involved is less than $15,000, I think the ABLE account is the go-to solution there because there's flexibility with the ABLE account. There may not be with a special needs trust. For larger inheritances or settlements, a special needs trust may be necessary because, as you've noted, you can't put more than $15,000 per year into an ABLE account. But special needs trusts are also useful in estate planning for families who may leave larger amounts of assets to a disabled child or grandchild, niece or nephew, and they may want to appoint a trustee who will manage those funds. So special needs trusts and ABLE accounts can work together, and a trust can contribute money to an ABLE account, and those can work together in tandem for the financial security of a person.
So what would you say would be the greatest advantage of this program in your opinion?
Well, I can think of three great advantages. Additional financial resources now are available through the ABLE account for someone who has SSI and Medicaid. Additional financial resources while protecting their eligibility for SSI and Medicaid benefits. Another one is financial independence for an adult who's capable but has a disability. Financial independence, the ability to manage their own financial matters and pay their bills and save for things they need, as you've noted. And then finally, it is a way for family members, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, because as we know, we can use a GoFundMe program to have friends contribute to an ABLE account. But it's a way for others to contribute to the financial security of a person with a disability.
All right, Rick, some really great information. And I'll tell you, as my last question, if we have a listener out there who's sitting there thinking, that's some really great information, but I'm still on the fence, what would be your last message you would want to give to really tell that person that Mississippi ABLE is a great product that will help that individual in the future?
Well, I'll rely on our personal experience, Chris. I said I have an adult daughter with a disability. She has an attendant paid by Medicaid through the waiver program. She has Social Security disability income, and she has part-time income from a part-time job, a few hours a week. Her bank account was starting to approach $4,000 or go over that amount, which would terminate her eligibility for the waiver, take away the ability for Medicaid to pay an attendant to help her on a daily basis. But she opened an ABLE account. Now she's putting money each month into the ABLE account, keeping her checking account below the $4,000 limit, and she's watching her money grow for future needs, for things that she wants to do. It's just a great way for families and people with disabilities like Melanie, an adult, to manage financial resources and still keep the eligibility for those essential benefits like SSI and Medicaid.
Fantastic, Rick. Thank you so much for the information and being on our podcast today. Guys, Rick has been our chairman for the past 3 years, and he has really done a fantastic job and been a wealth of knowledge to our program as we get it off the ground and really try to push it across the state. So, Rick, thank you again for being on the podcast today and providing this great information. So, as we transition to a break, when we come back, we're going to tell you exactly what you need to know on how to sign up for this great program. But we're going to flip it to a break, and we'll be right back.
At the Mississippi Department of Rehabilitation Services, our employees are dedicated to making a difference in the lives of Mississippians with disabilities. Thousands have been helped by our services. Please visit our website at mdrs.ms.gov to learn more.
So thank y'all so much for rejoining us on this podcast on Mississippi ABLE. So I know there's a lot of great information that's been provided through this podcast, and a lot of y'all are probably thinking, man, what a great account. What do I do next? So to wrap this up, I've got Billy Taylor on for one more time to tell you exactly what you need to do to get online or do what you need to do to open one of these great accounts. So Billy.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. And opening up an ABLE account is really quite easy. If you had the onset of your disability prior to 26 years old and have been deemed disabled by either the Social Security Administration or your physician through a self-certification form, you just take that information and go to MississippiABLE.com, and there's a step-by-step process on there to get your ABLE account opened up. You can also call the 888 number, which is 888-609-3469. It's super simple and easy. It can all be done electronically online, or there's also some paper forms available. If you're more comfortable doing it through the mail, we can certainly accommodate that as well. So super easy process.
Fantastic. Thanks, Billy. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. And Rick, Courtney, thank you for being on as well today. As we wrap it up, we are the Mississippi Department of Rehab Services, and our sole purpose is to provide services to Mississippians with disabilities all across this great state. So please follow us on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. You can go to our website at mdrs.ms.gov or call us at 1-800-443-1000. We are a family of 945 employees that really work hard to change the lives of individuals with disabilities all across our state. So again, thank you for being on the podcast today. I hope you learned a lot about Mississippi Able, MississippiAble.com to learn more and to sign up for an account. So thank you all so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for listening to The All Inclusive, the MDRS podcast bringing you the latest news and information about our services for Mississippians with disabilities. Be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube to catch our latest podcast. Thanks again for joining us.